The email arrived at 9:17 a.m. on a Friday. 3 sentences that shattered Jamie Thompson's world. Your position is redundant. Effective immediately. Please clear your desk by noon. Security will escort you out. After 7 years of loyalty. Long hours slogging away. Missing his daughter's football matches. To hit deadlines. Jamie was shown the door like an old crisp packet. What he couldn't possibly know. As he packed his family photos into a cardboard box. Was that in less than an hour? CEO Victoria Hargreaves would realize her company's survival depended entirely on the bloke she just made redundant. If you're moved by tales of comeback, fair play, and second chances, smash that like button. And subscribe. For more stories that show how quickly life can turn on its head. And how proper grit can turn your lowest moments into unexpected victories. Jamie stared at the email on his screen, reading it 3 times before the penny dropped. 7 years at Apex Innovations. Gone in a flash. His hands shook a bit as he minimized the message and glanced at the photo of his 10-year-old daughter, Ellie, set as his desktop background. Her gappy grin, normally a comfort on stressful days, now filled him with pure dread. How would he tell her? How would he keep up the mortgage on their modest 2-bedroom flat? How would he cover her asthma inhalers through the NHS wait? The marketing floor buzzed with typical Friday morning energy around him. Colleagues tapped away at keyboards, sipped their builder's tea or flat whites, nattered about weekend plans, completely oblivious to the bomb that had just gone off in his life. Jamie took a deep breath and opened his desk drawer, pulling out the little stress ball Ellie had given him for his birthday last year. For when work gets mental, Dad, she'd said. He squeezed it hard. 20 floors up. Victoria Hargreaves frowned at the quarterly forecasts. At 42, she'd built Apex Innovations. From a startup in her spare room to a £150 million business. In just over a decade. The sleek glass corner office, with its sweeping view over the London skyline, was a daily reminder of how far she'd climbed. But the figures on her screen threatened to bring it all crashing down. The cuts have gone through as agreed, said Howard Reynolds, her FD, standing stiff by the desk. 32 redundancies this morning, including the ones we flagged in marketing. Victoria nodded without looking up. And the Meridian deal? Any movement? Still pending. Their board meets Monday for the final call. The Meridian contract was make or break. A £40 million deal. That would keep Apex afloat through the downturn. And bankroll the new product launch. Without it, the company would start hemorrhaging cash in months. They're still fretting about integration with their legacy systems. Howard added. Their tech lot have questions. Our people haven't answered properly. Victoria finally looked up. Send me those questions. I'll go through them myself this weekend. Back on the marketing floor, Jamie methodically packed his things. A mug Ellie had painted. A little cactus that had somehow survived. 3 years under the strip lights. Awards for campaigns. That had helped put Apex on the map. His throat tightened as he reached for the framed photo of Ellie on her first day at primary school. Jamie, what on earth are you doing? He looked up. Priya Patel, his team lead, stood by his desk pod, looking baffled. Didn't you get the email? He asked, voice flat. I've been made redundant. Priya's eyes widened. You're joking. That's got to be a cock-up. You're our lead on Meridian. You built the whole integration plan. Jamie shrugged, trying to keep it together. Apparently I'm surplus to requirements. Priya shook her head. Hang on. I'm going straight to HR. But Jamie knew it was pointless. These corporate calls rarely got reversed. He'd watched it happen to others over the years. Decent people vanishing overnight. Desks cleared by Monday. Names turning into awkward silences. He carried on packing, while Priya marched off. A security guard appeared at the department entrance. Jamie knew he was there for him. The final kick in the teeth. Being walked out like he'd nicked the stationery. Up top, Victoria's exec meeting was cut short by an urgent call. Ms. Hargreaves. I've got the CTO from Meridian Online 1. Says it's about their final tech review. She excused herself. And took it privately. James, good to hear from you. I was just looking at the timeline. Victoria. James Chen's voice was dead serious. We've finished our assessment. We have serious concerns. Major ones. Victoria's stomach nodded. What sort? Your team's answers to our integration queries were woeful. We need proper detail on how your system talks to our proprietary database setup. The docs we got are missing key bits. I'm sure we can fill any gaps. Victoria said smoothly. Mind racing. Why don't I get our tech lead to ring you today? Victoria, straight up. Our board meets Monday. Without solid answers by Sunday night. I can't recommend going ahead with Apex. And I'm your biggest cheerleader there. After the call, Victoria summoned her CTO, Michael Barnes. Who's handling the technical side for Meridian? She demanded. Michael shifted. That'd be Jamie Thompson in marketing. He's been the go-between with our devs and their tech people. He gets the tech side and can explain it to the business folks. Get him up here now. Michael hesitated. Might be tricky. I think Jamie was on this morning's redundancy list. Victoria stared. What? Marketing had to lose 4 posts. He was one. Who signed that off? Her voice was dangerously calm. The redundancy review team. Howard approved the final list. Victoria grabbed her phone and rang HR. Is Jamie Thompson still in the building? Let me check. Security's escorting him out right now. Stop them. Immediately. Down in the lobby. Jamie stood with his box, waiting while the guard sorted his exit paperwork. His access card already sat deactivated on the desk. He felt numb. Mind spinning through sums. How long his savings would stretch. Which bills he could push back. What could be cut. Mr. Thompson. A voice called across the lobby. He turned. Victoria Hargreaves herself. Striding towards him. Heels clicking on the marble. Jamie had only met the CEO a handful of times. In 7 years. Mostly at all-staff town halls. Where she spoke from the front. Up close. He saw the fire in her eyes. That had built Apex from nothing. Ms. Hargreaves. He said. Shifting the box awkwardly. There's been a mistake. She said bluntly. Your redundancy was an error. We need you back upstairs. Now. Jamie stared. An error? Yes. A big one. She glanced at the guard. Reactivate Mr. Thompson's credentials, please. Jamie felt a rush. Relief he wasn't jobless. Anger at being binned so casually. Suspicion about the flip. Mind if I ask what changed in the last hour? He said carefully. Victoria paused. Clearly not used to justifying herself. I've just learned you're vital to Meridian. Your redundancy wasn't properly checked. Jamie set the box on the desk. With respect, Ms. Hargreaves. I can't just act like this morning never happened. I was made redundant by email. After 7 years. Her face tightened. She glanced around. They were drawing eyes. Let's talk privately. Please. Up in her office. Victoria laid it out plainly. Meridian was on the brink. Without Jamie's grip on the integration. And their specific worries. The deal would tank. No deal meant far worse redundancies than the 32 already gone. So I'm suddenly useful. Because you realized you need me. Jamie said flatly. Yes. Victoria admitted. I won't patronize you by pretending otherwise. Jamie looked out at the city below. Somewhere out there was Ellie's school. Where she was probably doing times tables. Or coloring in. Blissfully unaware. Her dad's ability to keep things going had been yanked away. And then shoved back. In the space of an hour. I've got a daughter. He said finally. She's 10. Her mum left when she was 3. It's been just us since. Everything I do affects her. Victoria nodded. Unsure where this was heading. This morning I was thinking. How to tell her we might have to move. Change schools. Drop her dance lessons. What if she has an asthma attack? And I can't sort her prescriptions. His voice stayed level. But the weight was there. I can't put her through that sort of uncertainty. What are you saying? I'm saying I'll sort Meridian. But I want guarantees. Minimum 2-year contract. And I want to lead the integration team going forward. With proper pay. Victoria studied him. In 12 years building the company. She'd rarely been backed into a corner like this. But she knew the spot she was in. Done. Legal will draft it today. Over the next 48 hours. Jamie barely stopped. Coordinating with the dev team. Tackling Meridian's concerns one by one. He knew the integration headaches inside out. He'd been on them for months. Anticipating questions. Building rapport with their tech staff. By Sunday evening. He'd pulled together proper documentation. That answered every point James Chin raised. Victoria reviewed it herself before sending. Impressed by the thoroughness. How did you know they'd ask about those exact database architecture bits? She asked. As they waited for Meridian's reply. Our devs didn't flag them. Jamie shrugged. I listened. When I met their database admins last month. They mentioned their custom indexing setup. Wasn't even on the agenda. Just something they were chuffed about. But I figured it'd be a snag. So I looked into fixes. Victoria nodded slowly. Seeing him properly for the first time. This wasn't just tech know-how. It was people skills. Relationship building. Proper foresight. Monday morning. James Chen rang Victoria himself. Board's just finished. The contract's yours. Your paperwork answered everything. And frankly blew our tech team away. Whatever you're paying that integration bloke. It's not enough. After the call. Victoria found Jamie in the meeting room. Where he'd spent most of the weekend. Meridian signed. £40 million over 3 years. You just saved the company. Jamie nodded. Too knackered for fireworks. Glad to help. I believe in what we do here. I owe you an apology. Victoria said. The word sounding unfamiliar. Not just for the redundancy cock-up, but for not spotting your worth sooner. Thanks. Jamie said simply. The contract I promised is ready. 2 years leading integration. Decent pay rise. She paused. But I'd like to offer something else instead. Jamie raised an eyebrow. I'm creating a new role. Chief Integration Officer. Overseeing not just Meridian, but all major client integrations. Reporting straight to me. 3-year deal. Exec package. And flexibility for your daughter's needs. Jamie was stunned. Why? Because this weekend showed me something crucial. About Apex. We've obsessed over tech and growth. But we've missed the human side. That makes tech actually work. You get both. We need that at the top table. 2 months later. Jamie sat in his new office on the exec floor. Reviewing the roadmap. For Apex's latest big client. On his desk sat the same photo of Ellie. Now joined by a fresh one. Ellie at her dance show the weekend before. Which Jamie had watched. Without glancing at emails. Or fretting about missing a call. His phone buzzed. Text from Victoria. Exec meeting in 10. Bringing Ellie's biscuits for the team. Jamie smiled. The company had shifted in quiet but real ways. Since his near miss. Victoria had brought in a human impact check. For big decisions. Looking at how they hit people's lives outside work. The others who'd been on the redundancy list. Got reassessed and redeployed instead of binned. And she'd started seeing her execs as people. Not just roles. For her part. Victoria had learned the biggest lesson of her career. Sometimes the most valuable thing in a business. Isn't on any spreadsheet. It's the human bit. The understanding. The connection. The view that people are whole lives. With families and worries. Beyond their job title. As Jamie grabbed his notes for the meeting. He glanced at a small frame on his shelf. The redundancy email. Printed and kept. As a reminder. Of how fast things can flip. And how standing your ground. Can turn a crisis into a proper step up. The company that nearly lost it all. By forgetting the human element. Was now stronger because of it. And the single dad. Who nearly lost his ability to look after his girl. Had found not just security. But real purpose. Making sure the tech they built. Served the people using it. And the people making it. With equal care. In the end. It wasn't just Jamie who saved Apex Innovations. It was the realization. That behind every email. Every decision. Every line of code. There are human lives that count. A lesson that changed. Not just a company. But everyone in it.